All right, good morning. Actually some sun outside today. Got the curtains open for once. What a treat. So we are currently sat in the middle of this trading range, which started last Thursday. We've had a big red hourly candle here in the pre-market, and we're coming down to test yesterday's lows by the looks of it early on. If we can break below these lows here, we're on an hourly chart right now. If we can break below these lows, we can then come down to test the lows from Monday. Currently looking slightly more likely bearish than bullish, but it's really hard to tell. Also got the US interest rate announcement tonight. So we'll see if that somewhat subdues the markets or not. Besides that, just going to need to be patient. See what happens. Going to be opening just below the overnight range here. So you can expect a bit of a battle here off the open. We've got the previous day close. We've got the previous day low. This is sort of the initial range that we're looking to break here, this 50-point range. Which way are we going to break out, long or short? So we've had a good week so far. First 2 days were highly profitable. Both of them just shy of £900. I did make another trade yesterday after the stream, which was a small profit. I'll go through that later on. It wasn't a big enough trade to feel the need to do an entire stream to review it, but it was a very good entry once again. It was a very good entry. The trade just didn't run as far as I was hoping it would, but it was a very good entry. So we had three trades yesterday, 3 really good entries. Profit taking is really difficult. I'm going to do a proper review at the weekend, where I'm going to look at sort of max profit that I could have made had I let the trades run. I'm going to look at different methods of profit taking and trailing stop losses, because there is no perfect method of managing trades and taking profits, but I want to try and find something that I just have some confidence in and want to, just want to stick to, because my entries are really good. Taking half profits at +1 times my risk makes a lot of sense, and that's worked out really well. But then it's what to do with that other half of the position. How do we manage that to try and squeeze out some runners, but also not have too many positions run back to break even? So we'll see. Because so far this week we've made 5 trades, 2 of which, had we let them run, they could have turned into really big ones, big winners. But the other 3 all came back rather quickly to break even. So I don't really think there is a right or a wrong. Whatever, we just want to commit to something. So the market looks like it's trying to build and move higher. We'll see if it can get past the resistance of the previous day close. Yeah, this has been a pretty strong open so far, all things considered. Market now trying to push back down below the previous day close. So well, there goes that strong start. Beyond the interest rates tonight, there's also all of the Mag 7, your Apples and your Teslas and your Amazons, Nvidia, all reporting earnings this week, which always has a big effect on all the markets. For the next 3 days, there's a lot of factors that could shake the market up, and will hopefully provide us some volatility to trade. There's not been any shortage of that, though, so far this year. It's been good. It's been really good. As we said at the start of the week, I wanted to make more of the opportunities later on in the session after 9 a.m. And I've certainly done that. Out of the 5 trades I've made, 3 of them have been after 9 o'clock. And before this week, I'd only made 1 trade so far this year after 9 a.m. So it's a bit of a change, which has certainly worked out in my favor. I'm viewing the market slightly differently than I was. Now I'm just extending my session a little bit longer. I'm sort of just seeing this first half an hour as, rather than looking for opportunities to make trades, just looking at sitting back and trying to work out where the market's going to go later on, and then trade that move. This first half an hour seems rather noisy, and yesterday was a good example because there was, quite a big move down in the first half an hour. But rather than trying to chase it, I just used that as confirmation that we were headed down. That then gave me a bias from which I was then able to trade from for the rest of the morning, which was really good, because then I was entering trades with real confidence, because I just watched for an hour. So I felt like I had a real gauge of what the market was doing. So I plan on continuing that going forward. So unsurprisingly, we've opened in a bit of a trading range here. The market is once again trying to build a push higher. You can see on the 5-minute chart on the left, it went right down into the red, but now we've got some green coming in, and that's quite a good sign for buyers. Sellers have failed to create a red candle there. But we'll see if sellers are just going to come in on a prior bar high. So I think my plan here is to see if the market can push back up to the top of the overnight range, and then potentially find a short reversing back into the range. Or if the market's really strong, then a breakout beyond. I think it's more likely to reverse, but either way, we'll be interested up here. And if the market does really fall, then anything down to the previous day low on a potential breakout short would be what we'd go for. I'm just going to go and get my breakfast because I won't be making any trades until past. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. again, the market trying to make a push. Okay, so while the market is moving up overall, I would not say it's moving with particular confidence. So if we do climb up to the top of the overnight range, we definitely want to be looking for a short. Well, I don't really want to short until we get there. So hopefully we get there. Okay, what I'm going to do while nothing's happening is show you yesterday's trade. Okay, so yesterday we had this move down off the open. We broke below the overnight range. We then came back to test. We entered short, took profit at what was the low of the session. And this is one of the trades where had I let it run, I could have made more. The market then broke, retested this breakout. We entered short. It didn't run all the way down to the low of the session, unfortunately. So we didn't make quite as much on that one. These were both on stream. And then eventually the market came back once again to test the overnight range low. And also we had VWAP was down here. Maybe I can actually get it on this chart. No, actually I can't. So once we'd closed below the overnight range and closed below VWAP, I entered short again. I took half profits around here, and then the remainder got stopped out break even. I was looking to hold a trend all the way down. This is what I was going for. But you can see again, trade number one, if you hold it, you make a bit more. Trade number 2 and 3, if you hold it, you take a loss. So it's, very difficult to get that position management right. I think caution for now and taking profits while we can take it. It's going to be more often than not the best approach. But it was a good day. It was a good day. So really, I'm just sat here looking to see if the market can reach the top of the overnight range. And if it does, we would look for a short. If it doesn't, then we won't be trading. This isn't at all unsurprising that the market's quiet this morning. And the fact that we've had such a good start to the week means I'm even more happy with just sitting here doing nothing. I think this is looking like one of the sort of days where it's probably best to end the stream quite early. And then if the market does do what I want it to do, I can do a quick 5-minute review rather than sitting here live for potentially 2 hours. I do like doing the lives though, because a day like yesterday is great. It's great streaming it live. Currently, based off of our performance these last couple of weeks, I'm projected to complete this challenge in the next 4 to 5 weeks. Obviously, that's completely contingent on me not getting way better or way worse. But that's the sort of timeline-ish that we can expect. So sort of end of Feb, early March, which would just be amazing. It was looking the first couple of weeks like I might struggle to pass based off of the max loss. But given that I've only lost hardly anything, it's been very consistent the last 7, 8, 9 trading days. I've now got a good buffer there, so it's, unless it takes a real downturn, that's unlikely to cause me to lose. So it's now just a case of how long is it going to take. Yeah, if I can keep this sort of 2 to 3% per week type gains, then yeah, we're looking at 4, 5, 6 weeks. And then it gets really fun. Because then it's actual money. And I'm very, very intrigued to see how that affects my psychology. Because the £1,800 that I've made so far this week of fake money, I really don't feel anything towards it, besides the fact that it puts me a little bit closer to passing this challenge. But I'm pretty sure that £1,800, when it's actually mine, well, 80% of it will be, I'm sure there'll be some feelings towards it. I am risking slightly more than I will be risking when it's actually a live account, because I'm just following advice of other traders that have done these challenges. The advice is to risk somewhere around 1.5% on the challenge, and then reduce it down to 1% when it's live. The reason being is that you can pass a little bit quicker. And once you have passed and that you're on a live account, FTMO are really strict with trade consistency. So they really don't like you risking 0.8% on one trade and then 2% on the next trade. They see that as unreliable, risky, gambly, whatever you want to call it, type trading. So I'm currently risking 700 to 1,000 per trade, and I'll be reducing that down to begin with, down to 5 to 700. Obviously, as I grow the account, then my risk will increase. But I'll be looking to avoid risking more than 1% per trade, just so that I can grow the account really, really sustainably and not get anywhere near any max loss or daily loss limits. Because the last thing I want is to spend 3 months passing a challenge or 4 months passing a challenge and then have to take it again. So market has not pushed to the top of the overnight range at all. At all. So the question now is there enough weakness on a day like today to actually cause a downtrend like we had yesterday? Or are we just going to be bouncing around for the next 6 hours? So I'm not interested in shorting really unless we can break below the previous day low down here. Okay, we are sliding lower. Okay, we're breaking out. Interesting. So I definitely think if we break below yesterday's low, we can try and push for a test of Monday's lows down around 24,800. Certainly moving down with more venom than we were moving up earlier. Okay, so now we're testing yesterday's low. And this is the level that I was really interested in. So we want to see some weakness followed by a retest, and then we jump on the downtrend. Okay, well we've got it. We've got the weakness. Now our retest is either going to be the previous day low or it's going to be the current low of the session. So when the market does come back up, we want to be looking out for these levels. So now it's just a waiting game to wait for that retracement. Okay, for the first time in 20 minutes, there's a little bit of attempted buying happening. So the market's super weak, super weak right now. Not yet giving us any opportunity to enter in. It will come though. It will come. Just got to be patient. Okay, we're actually getting a little bit of, finally, some actual buying coming in. So this is not a morning where there's a lot to say. Not because it's not interesting. It's just, well, the objective is extremely clear. Extremely clear. We are simply looking for a retracement back towards yesterday's low. That is all there is to it. So yeah, I'm just going to be quiet and let that play out, hopefully. So the situation we've got now is that the market's made an extremely quick move without a single retracement and has then entered into another trading range. Now, I didn't do anything wrong because the market never gave me an entry. And that's just something you have to accept sometimes, is that the market isn't going to always do exactly what you want it to do. But a retest here, or of the opening low at any point this morning, will be a good setup. So I'm going to end the stream there. But I will, if I make a trade, I will come and do a review. So you could argue slightly frustrating that we couldn't take a trade here. But, you know, doesn't happen very often. Doesn't happen very often. And my entry system protects me from a lot of false signals. But then the flip side to that is you will occasionally just miss a trade. But, you know, it's what it is. So, yeah. I'll either be back later on today to do a review, or I'll be back tomorrow.